Wildcard India Pale Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Bows Reviews. I have got beer from the Wildcard Brewery. Bit on them in a minute. This is one of their India Pale Ales, which I was mooching about in Tesco today, and I found it in nestled among all the supposed craft beer. It's a small Tesco, so there ain't many, and I've tried most of them, but this was a new one. And I'm surprised to see it out here because it's from the Wildcard Brewery, which is based in Walthamstow, which is in East London. And it is just round the corner from a place I used to live in called Walthamstow. This is just round the corner. And it appears I was 20 years too late to reap the benefits. My liver probably breathed a sigh of relief. But this is what it looks like. And first thing that struck me about this was the can. I don't know if you can see this or you're getting this, but that is just a raw sort of aluminium can. And they've put this coating over the top, and it's got like a matte sort of ridged, slightly ridged feel to it, so you can, it's like a non-slip label, which I think is a brilliant idea. The label is sort of akin to a tattoo style sort of design, like an old school tattoo design. It's got the black queen, which of course is wrong. It should be red, but that's probably just in keeping with the brewery. I've read a bit about these. They are originally, the people, there's three of them, they were originally from Nottingham, and somehow they've ended up in East London, and they're brewing these beers, and they've cracked the supermarket market for craft beer, which is always a sign of a bit of success. But for the consumer, I'm always wary of that, because if you're brewing big batches like that, maybe I wouldn't say you're cutting corners. It's just gone everywhere. I wouldn't say you're cutting corners, but it maybe is not as good as you would be brewing for like a, you know, not a smaller batch, but you know, for your brew house or whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling on here. Let's get this smelt and tasted. So, out of the can. What are we getting? I'll tell you what I'm getting. So I'm not going to smell it out of the can. I'm getting dog shampoo, because I took the dogs out earlier and one of them rolled in fox shit. So all I'm getting is dog shampoo off my hands. So I'm just going to pour it into the glass. Little bastard, if you've ever smelt fox shit, it is absolutely fucking disgusting. It's not as bad as some of the Marston's beers I've smelt, but there you go. Anyway, more on that later. There it is in the glass. Very, very slightly cloudy or hazy, whatever you want to call it. Not much carbonation in there at all, and not much head. As I say, this is an India Pale Ale. It's a 330ml can. That is 5.5%. The ingredients are water, barley, wheat, oats, hops, and yeast. So the oats are the only sort of anomaly in that. They are an adjunct which is there to enhance the mouthfeel and give it a slight difference in the flavour. Let's get this down the hatch. Cheers. it's okay. It doesn't stand out as being amazing, but it's doing just enough to make me think that this is a craft brewed beer, and they've not cut corners, and it's what I'd expect from a craft beer from a supermarket. The flavour, bear in mind it's an IPA. I think it's an IPA that can't make up its mind. It's not a British IPA. It's too hoppy for that and too fruity. It's not a New England IPA because the alcohol content is low, the fruit is subdued and the hops are subdued, and it's not a West Coast. So it's a bit of a mishmash really, but all in all it's a reasonably pleasant drink. There's fruit initially. There's mango, a bit of peach, pineapple, and then you got slight bitterness with the grapefruit, but not masses of amount. No spice in there from what I can taste. There is malt, but it's very subdued. But it isn't bad. Certainly drinkable. This is chilled. It's not cold, but that would be nice in the summer. Ice cold. That would go down very nice. It's very drinkable. I will give it that, and it's got a lovely mouthfeel to it too. There's not much carbonation. I don't know whether you can see that or not. That is a golden colour, but there's very, very little carbonation, and you do get that in the mouth. And with the oats in there as well, you're getting a very smooth mouthfeel. A little bit of resin on them hops as well, getting that slightly, but it's all in all it's not bad. I wish they'd have called it a pale ale and not an IPA, because if that was a pale ale I'd say yeah, that's quite similar to an American style pale ale. An IPA, I don't think it really knows what it wants to be. It's not a New England IPA. It's not a West Coast, and it's not a British IPA. It's, as I say, it's in the middle of all three of them, which they should have just called it a pale ale. But it's a minor gripe. As I say, in general, this is not bad. Yeah, it's quite well balanced. All in all, this is a really drinkable. I won't call it an IPA, I'd call it a pale ale. This is a really drinkable pale ale, I think. IPA, I think, is stretching it because, as I say, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. But if this was a pale ale, I'd be all over it. It's really good, and it's from Walthamstow, which is one of my old haunts in East London, and I've got lots of good memories from that place. Shame they didn't open up earlier. I'd have been their best customer probably. I'd probably be on fucking dialysis advertising for a new liver, but that's by the by. And this brewery do some really good stuff as well. I've been looking up their sort of range, and they do a Goes as well, which is quite unusual in this country. Goes is a North German beer brewed with salt water. Sounds disgusting, but it's nice. I should do a review of that as well. I'll see if I can get hold of it. But they do quite sort of interesting sounding beer, so I'm going to check the Wildcard Brewery out. If for nothing else, they are an ex-local brewery to me. So I'm always interested, like the Beavertown stuff from Tottenham, which is one of the places I'm from and all. I'm really interested in what they do. I've tried all their range. I've reviewed it as well. I think these may be my next pet brewery to try out the entire range. But let's get back to this. What would I give this? An IPA it is not, I don't think. But that's just a minor gripe. It's, you know, you could rebadge that, call it a pale ale, and I'll be all over this saying how great it is. The flavour is really good. There's plenty of grapefruit bitterness. There's plenty of fruit, mango, passion fruit, the usual sweet tropical fruits you get from a New England IPA. The malt is slightly lacking. There is a bit, but it's very pale and nondescript. But that's a minor gripe. All in all, the whole package, I would give that a 7.5 out of 10. And would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. Drink that cold, and that's a really refreshing alternative to lager. If you like your craft beer, and you're a little bit fed up with lager, and you want a little bit of a twist, this is really good. It's not an IPA, as I say. I know I keep labouring that point, but I don't think it is. It's a pale ale. It's this what I would call a pale ale, and it's really nice. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10, and recommended. And I'm going to check out this Wildcard Brewery. I'm probably going to order some of their stuff now and review it, because I quite like that. And remember, beer is working class champagne.